It's Tanya Bridge Malone back with another YouTube video. So I had to make that last video short, but that's fine because I think I get more views with people with my short videos. But my longer videos are good videos too, so I encourage you to watch them too. Anyway, I'm going to attempt to cook what I told you I'm going to fix. I'm going to fix a piece of salmon. I'm going to fix some mashed potatoes, and I'm going to fix some green beans. So I've already got my pots and pans out that I need to start making this. The potatoes will probably be the last thing I do because it won't take that long to make those mashed potatoes. All you got to do is heat the water up, pour the stuff in, and stir it up, and it's done. So the water has to come to a boil. That's all you have to do. So I'm going to do that last. So I'm going to put the piece of fish in the pan. So first of all, I'm going to get some Pam spray, some kind of spray to spray in the skillet. So give me 1 second while I get it. Now, I'm going to take to put this in the pan so this piece of fish doesn't stick in the pan. I just got a small pan to put it in because I'm only fixing one piece of salmon. Salmon is an excellent protein source. So I need to make sure, with me having bipolar, well, with me dealing with things like that, I have to make sure that I'm eating protein. So I'm going to spray this in the pan and I'm going to show y'all. Alright, so here's the pan. This is a small pan. And I'm going to spray some of this Pam cooking olive oil in there. So I'm trying to stick this up against something so y'all can see. So here's the pan. I'm trying to show y'all what I'm doing so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm spraying the pan. Alright. I'm going to put this back on. I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to cut up the piece of fish. I put the camera back on me. And we're going to get a pair of scissors, cut this open, and put it in there. Now, I'm going to put, I'm trying to think what kind of seasoning I'm going to use on this, so just give me a second. Alright, so we're going to take the scissors, we're going to cut this open, and these scissors are not the best scissors to use, because they really are. Now, these cut better, so I'm going to put this in the sink to wash. My hands are clean, I'm good, you know what I mean? So anyway, this is what I'm going to, well, to make sure I'm going to go and wash my hands, so you all can see me wash my hands. Probably need to anyway, so. Dawn dishwashing liquid. It's what we use around here. Don't know, I mean, there's some people saying there's stuff in Dawn dishwashing liquid that ain't good for you. But pretty much, y'all, there's chemicals and everything. Anyway. I'm going to wipe my hands off with the towel. And we're going back over this way. So, now, a piece of fish is cut open. Going to put it inside the skillet. But I need to figure out what spices I'm going to use to put on this. So, I'm going to turn the light on. I'm going to throw this in the trash can. Don't need to show a trash can and all that on the video. It ain't no big thing. People have to throw stuff in the trash can. So anyway, I'm putting this piece of fish in here and I'm going to figure out what spices I'm going to use. Alright, so we got garlic bread sprinkled. I'm looking for garlic. Let's see what this is. Roasted garlic and herb. This is great. Making sure it's gluten-free. I think it is. Gluten-free. Alright. So this is all we're going to use for spices. One dabble. Alright. Hopefully that's not too much, but we're going to use that. That's what I was going to use for the spices. Check it out at your local Walmart. Alright. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to use that in the green beans too. So I'm going to put the lid back on the pan, and we're going to put it back up. Here's the cupboard. Full of food. Anyway, put it back up there where it goes. Shut the door back. I'm going to close these things back. And we're going to turn on the stove. Alright. Got my old shirt on. so we ain't getting stains on something I like. I had to throw that shirt and put some Dawn dishwashing liquid on it and rewash some light colored clothes that I'd already washed and rewashing them because that shirt got dirty and you can't just throw one shirt in. But oh well, it is what it is. I'm going to throw this piece of thing I forgot to throw in the trash. Alright, I got a footstool thing I hit to open up the trash can so we ain't getting stuff on our hands. Alright, now I'm going to open up this can of green beans, which I don't know, man, about these. I like the old-fashioned openers like this right here. Now we're going to, let's see. I don't know if I'll be able to show it. I'm going to set this over here, and then I'm going to show y'all me opening up the green beans. Only way I'm going to be able to do it. So anyway, here's a can of green beans, and I like my old-fashioned can openers. I don't like them automatic things that you open because I can't never figure out how to use them. It just is what it is, y'all. So we're going to attempt to open this up. Hopefully it still works. I just like the old-fashioned kind. I ain't one of them people got to have the most up-to-date stuff. Can of green beans ain't too high. I suggest you buy the ones that's frozen. They're probably better for you than what's in the can. But now I'm going to throw back over here, and I'm going to put these inside of this pan. So make sure we get all the green beans out of there good enough. Alright, now I'm going to put these back up where they go, right there, back in the drawer. Now I'm going to put some spices. I'm going to put the same thing I put on the fish on these. Alright, now I got to figure out which of these burners is for the back. Alright, so we're going to put that on about in the middle. I got it on 4. So, we got the fish cooking. I got it on 2.5. I have a gas stove, obviously. And we got these. Now, we got to mix up the spices, so we got to get a spoon. Got to get a spoon because we got to mix them up. So, I'm going to mix around the spices and the water stuff that was already in these. We're going to mix them up real good. Set that spoon there because I'll use it later on. And so, we're waiting on that. Now, I'm going to go on while I'm waiting on this stuff to get done, and I'm going to go on and put my water in this pan so it can be getting ready to boil for my potatoes. Got a lot of dishes I got to dry and put away, I know. I always use hot water. You can use cold if that's what you want to use, but I'm going to have to fill this pan probably at least halfway full of water. Not for sure exactly how much water, but this is what we're going to use. Now, and I'm going to wipe the bottom of this pan off because since I put it at the bottom of the sink, I got to wipe the water off of it because I don't want that to make a mess on the stove. So, we're going to wipe the water off. And if I need to add extra water to this, I will. Man. Anyway. So while I'm waiting on that, I'm not going to add no salt to this water because these potatoes are instant potatoes, sort of like. They say they're real potatoes, but I'm not going to put that in it because there's already spices in that pack of sour cream and chives. So I don't need to add no salt. Too much salt ain't good for you. So, we got it on 4, so it's boiling. And it won't take long to fix this piece of fish, probably about 10, 15 minutes, and may not even take that. But you always want to make sure that your fish is done. But you don't want to cook it to where it's just burnt plumb up, you know. So this is what we're fixing. So while I'm waiting, I'm going to throw this empty can in the trash can back on me while we're waiting for the food to get done. I know, well, I try to prepare before the harvest like God tells me to. So I tried to already have my pots and pans out when I started making the video to make it a not so long of a video. So, wait time, y'all. Waiting on the fish. Got the green beans and boiling the water for the mashed potatoes. And like I said, y'all, these mashed potatoes are very good potatoes. And they are Ohioan or something. And the family size is like $2.72, I think, is how much I gave for this pack. They're russet potatoes with sour cream and chives. So there's no reason to put any salt in the water, being there's already seasoning in the potatoes. Now, if I was cooking and peeling a potato and cutting it up and I was boiling them to make mashed potatoes, then yes, I would add some salt in the water to give it flavor. Now, obviously, I need this to flip the fish with when it gets to that. So we're going to set that on the plastic thing. And it's all the weight gain, y'all. All the weight gain. So, hope y'all having a blessed day. I'm going to hang my towel back up where it goes. But, while I'm waiting, I could be drying these dishes and putting them. So, I'm going to set this right here, if I can get it to set. And I'm going to dry these dishes and put them away. You know, because obviously, when I get this food done, I'm going to have to wash these pots and pans, and I got to have some place to put them, right? So, we got to put away the dishes. We don't like to leave stuff a mess for my mom when she comes home. I'm not currently working right now, so I try to pitch in, keep the house clean. I don't want her to have to come home and have to do dishes or put stuff away, or her to have to cook because she's working. So I respect my mother, respect my father, and I try to keep the house clean without them having to ask me. Because there's been times that I've been out and about and gone for hours just writing lyrics and stuff, and she would complain because I wasn't home to do what needed to be done. So I want to make sure I keep the house clean, because that means that's less griping and complaining I have to listen to when she gets home. And it's only right to clean up after yourself, especially if you're living with your parents or you're living in with somebody. Even if you lived on your own, keep their house clean just like you would if you had your own place. You know, it's called respect. Because nobody likes to come home to a dirty house when there's able-bodied people in the house to clean up. You know what I mean? Learn to clean up after yourself. And if somebody's giving you a roof over your head and you're not paying anything to live there, and you got family that loves you enough to help provide for you, and you're not willing to clean up around the house, then what's that say about you? You have no respect for who you're living with. You know what I mean? Because God says respect and appreciation goes a long way. So it's good to pick up after yourself instead of just thinking everybody else after they've worked all day wants to come home and clean that up. Respect their place as if you had your own place, and you would want them to respect your place, so respect them. I can always think of things to talk about. And, you know, doing what you're supposed to do goes a long way. And we should obey thy mother and thy father. But we should also listen to our Holy Father, because if parents tell you to do something, or a family member tells you to do something that doesn't align with the Bible, don't do it. There's a difference in honor and respecting your mother and your father than to listen to everything they tell you, because if they're telling you things that don't align with the Bible, you don't need to be doing it. Because ultimately, we're supposed to put God above all people, right? Yeah. So I want to try to dry these dishes, because I know that when I get done cooking this food that I'm going to have to do dishes on the pots and the pans that I'm dirtying up. So I got to have room to put them. And so I got to put this up in the drawer. And I got to keep an eye on my food I'm cooking, because I'm probably fixing to have to flip this fish real quick. But yeah, I'm just trying to put away some of these dishes so that way I don't have to do all that when it comes time to whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm going to set y'all right here, set the phone here. And I'm going to put this up here. So the fish is doing pretty good, so we're going to turn it back onto the fish. And I'm going to turn this over, because you can see it's sticking. And sometimes, man, when you cook, man, if you ain't got old clothes on, you're going to ruin them, man, if you get too much stuff on them that you know ain't going to come out. Because some stains don't come out. So it's best that you wear an apron if you have one. I don't currently have one. But some things we don't think about that we could be wearing when we're cooking. Because when you cook, grease pops up. A lot of things come up. And you don't want to ruin your good clothes, man. You know what I mean? So you want to wear something old, like have an apron over you or something. But this shirt I don't care nothing about because it's older, so I don't worry about it. Got to have old clothes and good clothes for good clothes. I'm very particular on how I take care of my clothes and my shoes, because I give my hard work and money for them, so I want to take care of what I have. I like to take care of what I paid for, you know, because you're out here working, you've been out here working, and you work for that money that you earn, and you're buying your stuff. You'll want to take care of your stuff, really. because I was raised to take care of stuff and to clean up after myself and not be a dirty person. So anyway, that's what I know. So it's all just a waiting game. It's going to take a few minutes to get this fish done. It'll take longer to fix that piece of fish than it will, the potatoes or the green beans. Not a big deal, nothing fancy I'm fixing, but it's a healthy meal, and it's, it'll fill me up. And I could rely on my mom to come home and cook me something, but I'm a grown adult. I'm 42 years old. If I want to cook, I need to cook and cook for myself, you know what I mean? And she may not feel like cooking after she's worked all day. She may not want to, I'm just cooking for myself. I ain't cooking for anybody else, because about the only thing that's going to be left probably is some green beans and mashed potatoes, because I'm only fixing what I'm going to eat. Because a lot of times my mom don't eat in the evening when she comes home. If she does, she might eat a salad or something light, because she's always trying to keep up with her weight. She don't want to gain too much weight. And so, and that's how some people are. They don't eat a lot in the evening time when it gets later in the evening, because if you go to bed on it and you're not exercising before you go to bed, you eat something, go to bed on it, if you have trouble, trying to keep weight off, some people try to take care of their bodies, you know what I mean? They try to make sure they don't overstuff themselves before they go to bed, because that can actually cause weight gain. Now me, I don't have weight issues, but I'm probably underweight if anything. And I'm not making fun of anybody who struggles with weight loss, with weight gain or weight loss, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people will make fun of me because I'm so skinny, you know what I mean? But I can't help that, you know what I mean? My metabolism's fast, and it is what it is. But I don't judge nobody who is overweight, because the fact of it is, you don't know what their underlying health conditions are, you know what I mean? It's not so easy for people out here to lose weight. Trust me, I know. I'm open-minded. I'm not stupid. But anyway, the water's coming to a boil, so it's about almost time. We'll let it come to a little bit better boil before I throw the potatoes in there, and I'm making all of them, so, it is what it is. Now we got the green beans coming to a boil, let them cook good there for about a good 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll take them off the stove, because I am hungry. And sometimes I get lazy and I don't want to cook for myself, but I'm able-bodied to cook, so sometimes we gotta cook, you know what I mean? You see me eating out at Burger King all the time, but my money's getting low, so I gotta start eating at home. But I had to go out and buy this stuff to cook, so, I spent $30-some. With these potatoes, I can eat on for probably about a good 3 or 4 days if nobody gets in the refrigerator and throws them away, because most people ain't gonna eat them. My dad ain't big on eating leftovers, my son ain't. And, it is what it is. I mean, when my mom comes in, I would cook for her, but most of the time she just eats a salad or something like that. She don't eat a bunch of heavy stuff on her stomach before she goes to bed. So, it is what it is. And some people only eat once a day, which this is probably the only meal I'm going to eat today, because I usually only eat once or twice a day. That's it. Well, let's get real, man. Who can afford to eat 6 or 7 times a day? You know what I mean? Especially me right now with what little bit of money I got left in my account, which is a little over $300, and that's all I got. You know what I mean? So I got to have gas money, cigarette money, stuff like that. So I can't be eating out every day. And over the last 2 or 3 days, I've ate at Burger King for the last almost 2 or 3 days, and that's $10. That's $30. I already had the fish here. I didn't buy any meat when I went to the store. The bread was $7. The milk was $5. The watermelon was almost $4. And the peanut butter was almost $6. It don't take long, depending on what you're buying. You don't even have to buy meat to be spending a lot of money. I mean, I didn't get that much for my money because groceries are outrageous. And my mom and dad don't buy eggs from the store anymore, because my brother has his own chickens at his house, and they hatch eggs, so he gives us eggs. And we don't have to buy them. And if y'all in the store, you know how high eggs have gotten. It's ridiculous how high food is, especially when it's freaking poison with stuff in it you shouldn't even be eating. But it's hard to stay away from it. But now, water's came to a pretty good boil, so I'm going to throw all the potatoes in it and mix it up. Okay, y'all. Put it back on me. And we got to rip this open. There should be a place to rip it open. Alright. And all we got to do is throw this in there and stir it up, man, we done. We may have to add some water. I may have to add some water. I don't know. Now, I'm going to throw all this in here. And if I have to add water, I made a mess, didn't I? I hate when I make messes. Because I'm one of them people that I really don't like making messes. I really don't like to have to clean them up. But I don't care to clean, get me wrong. Anyway, I need to get a plastic thing. We're going to stir up the potatoes. And I might have put too much water in here this time. Last time I didn't put enough. As you all remember, I made a video. Probably need to turn that off. Because I'd say it's done. Might not be as... They do seem thick, but... I know the last time I made a video and I made these same potatoes, I ended up having to add a little bit more water to it because I didn't have enough in the pan. Which that's alright, y'all. We make mistakes. We have to have leniency on ourselves when it comes to things. Even the simplest things sometimes upset us. I know it doesn't for me, at least. I can't speak for all people. And our green beans are still making. We're still cooking the thing. Like I said, you all, these potatoes are the easiest thing to make, really. Because there's no cooking to it. All you got to do is boil water and throw them in there and, you know, mix them up and they're done. I tell you what, though, I've ate some instant mashed potatoes that taste like crap, but these right here are really good. I highly suggest them. Anyway, look at the mess I made when I was emptying the potatoes into the water. But anyway, we're going to throw this away. Back on me, I still got to wait for the piece of fish to get done. I always want to make sure my fish is done. I don't want to be eating no fish that ain't done. That's just like chicken. You always want to make sure your chicken's done. Stuff like that can really cause, you know, you being sick. That's why it's good to eat at home a lot of times, because we always want to eat out all the time, but sometimes people can't afford to, especially me, depending on my situation. I shouldn't have been eating out all the time. I should have been home cooking something to eat. But I'm going to turn this down to about 2. Phew, boy, that pan is hot. Fish, turned it back over. Got the mashed potatoes done, and I'd say the green beans are about done. They've been boiling for about 5 minutes or more. So we're going to turn all that stuff off, and I'll have to clean that up when I'm done. So the only thing I really have to clean is the pan and the 2 pots here, and I'll have to figure out, I may just put a lid on this pot and put it in the refrigerator, because I'm going to eat some more of that. So I may not have to clean it, but I will definitely have to clean the pan and the smaller one. Because my mom, she don't, not obviously, but she don't keep a lot of plastic containers around to store stuff in, like for leftover food. She has some, but she don't have a whole lot, so. And plus, there ain't no place to put nothing, because everything's just piled up in here. But yeah. Now that I'm done, I can put this back up. Because I'm done with it. It don't take long, really, to fix you a little bit of something to eat. I mean, if you're just cooking for yourself, you know, you can pick up stuff that's quick and easy to fix. I mean, you know, a piece of fish really don't take that long. 10 or 15 minutes and that piece of fish is done. You know what I mean? You don't want to cook it till it's bone dry. I just want to make sure it's done, because I don't want to eat anything. Of course, this piece of fish was frozen when I fixed it. Which, that's the way I do salmon. I always keep it frozen, and then I just pick up, you know, that's what I like about buying that in the store, is it comes pre-packaged, and you can just fix one piece if you want to fix one piece, instead of having to fix the whole package or something. So I like the fact that they're individually wrapped. But yeah, our potatoes and our green beans are done, and the only thing we're waiting on is a piece of fish. I don't want to get stuff all over me, really, regardless. So. And if you eat this scaling, some people may be wondering, do you eat the stuff? Yes, I do. I eat it all. Because all it's good for you, there's probably a lot of nutrients in that skin there. But if y'all wondering, this is a piece of salmon, which I've mentioned several times in my video. But I'm waiting for that. So once the piece of fish is done, I'm going to go ahead and get my plate and my fork out that I'm going to eat with. Obviously. So we don't have any paper plates this time, so I just got a regular plate. I'll have to wash it. I'm going to get me a fork to eat with. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to use with eating this piece of fish. Whatever we got in the house, obviously, what I'm going to use, because I did not buy any. I've got honey mustard, but I don't think I want to eat that with fish. It just doesn't sound appetizing. So let's see. Not going to use ketchup, because I don't like ketchup, and then I maybe not use anything. But I'll usually use ranch on fish. Believe it or not, You all may not like that, but I like ranch with my I like ranch with my fish. But I don't like honey mustard. But hey, each an individual to their own what you like. I'm gonna set that, turn it back around on me. I'm gonna go on and put my stuff on there, and then I'm gonna put this back in the refrigerator. There ain't much left in it, but anyway. And then I should have been looking for a job today, but I've been focusing on my YouTube channel. But I'm gonna have to probably get me a job because I filed disability. But I'm gonna have to start looking for a job here shortly. Here we are. Still cooking this fish. I just want to make sure it's done. I don't want to cook it till it's bone dry, but I want to cook it to make sure it's done. Because fish, you don't want to cook. You don't want to eat a piece of fish or chicken that's not fully cooked. And while I'm waiting on that fish to get done, I'm going to leave it on me, and I'm going to wash my scissors. So we're going to wash that and get that out of the way. Because I still got to wash all these dishes that I used to cook with. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got to wash all that stuff. Always want to wash your utensils. Especially after you've used any meats or anything. So that's washed. So now I'm going to figure out what I'm going to put all this leftover stuff in. The only thing I'm going to have left over is the green beans and mashed potatoes. Because obviously I only fixed one piece of fish and I'm going to eat that. So anyway, I'm going to attempt to figure out if I got anything to put something in. First of all, I probably need to get a lid for the top of this pan that I have the potatoes in, and I don't know if there's one in here. There should be, but I don't know. Trying to find anything in this mess is crazy because there's so much stuff in this cabinet and you can't even see what's in here unless you drag out half of it. I'm serious, y'all. It's crazy. It is crazy. Trying to find something a lid that goes with something's really hard to find, for real. In my household it is. But I do not know. I do not know if there's anything to go over top of this. There's got to be a lid to that pan, I would think. But I do not know. She puts so much crap in here that you cannot see what is what, man. I ain't kidding, y'all. It's crazy. It really is crazy because you cannot find the lids that go to the pots and pans. It's just crazy. And I don't think this is the right size. I think it's too small. No, it fits. Thank the Lord I found it. Phew. The only thing about leftovers, you gotta have containers to put them in. And then, whatever green beans I got left, I can probably use this little bowl. And I need a lid for it, obviously. But if I have any much left, but a little small bowl to put the green beans in, and this lid to put on the mashed potato thing. Because I'm just going to leave potatoes in there, and that's one less thing I have to cook. Or one less thing I have to clean. I want to make sure it gets done, because I don't want to eat anything that ain't done. Now, what I need is a plastic thing. But what I think I'll use is this. Lay this flat on the table. And I'm going to bring my potatoes over and go ahead and dip them and put them on my plate. There's no way I'm going to be able to eat all these potatoes. Not in one serving, so. But anyway, we've got the potatoes dipped. Now, I'm going to put the potatoes back on the thing. I need a spoon, obviously. Gotta have a spoon to dip it with. Make sure I don't make a mess. As y'all well know, I'm hard on myself. I don't like to make a mess when I'm fixing something, really. Just extra work I gotta do. Anyway, that's what's left over from the green beans. I don't know if they'll fit in this little small thing, but we'll see. So anyway, and while I'm waiting I'm going to go ahead and put these green beans in this bowl. I don't know if this bowl will be big enough, though. But we'll see. Because I like eating leftovers. I'll eat leftovers if there's anything in the refrigerator to eat. Because I can eat some of these green beans and mashed potatoes tomorrow and maybe fix me up a hot dog or something to go with it, you know. That way I don't have to cook so much stuff tomorrow. There's not really a whole lot of green beans in 1 can of green beans, really. But anyway, get all that stuff out. Then we're going to come over here, and I'm going to empty all this excess stuff into the sink. And while I'm waiting for that, put the water in there. Put the lid on the green beans. Y'all, this is what you need to do if you're cooking. Do your stuff as you're waiting on your food to get done. Your dishes or whatever you have to do. Of course, it is what it is. So I'll put them in the top of the refrigerator. Put this fish, turn it over one more time. But I think that fish is probably done. I just want to make sure. Alright, now I'm going to put this in this thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and wash up this pan and this spoon. Because I wash my stuff up as I go. Obviously the plate and the fork, I'll have to wash it after I get done eating. So, got that washed. Now we got the spoon I'm washing. It don't take that long to wash dishes if you do it as you go. And the potatoes, I'm going to put the lid on them, and I'm going to refrigerator if I can find a spot to put these mashed potatoes. But I got shit. I'm trying not to make a mess, man. I don't like making a mess. That's one thing I don't like doing. Now rinse off the potatoes off the spoon, so that way when you go to do it. Now, as you will see, that's what the potatoes I got left. I'm going to put the lid on them, and I'm going to, but I'm not going to show all that. I'm just going to put them in the refrigerator. Because I can't hold the phone plus do this. Alright. To the fish, it's about done. I wanted to get this video made before my mom came home. I think this fish is done. It looks pretty done to me. We're going to turn the stove off, and of course I still got that I got to clean up. Anyway, I'm going to bring my plate over here. That way I'm not making a mess on the floor. So, taking a piece of fish out. There we go. That's the finished product with the fish and the green beans and the mashed potatoes. And I got all that I got to clean out. Anyway, while I'm waiting, hold up. Alright. Y'all work with me with my cell phone. Anyway, y'all. Shoot, that is really hot. I'm going to have to use this. That's really hot. And I'm going to take this over to the trash can and dump all this excess stuff out. Because I never put this stuff down my sink. Anyway, now back over here. I'm going to put some water, and I'm going to go in and clean this pan, to be honest with y'all. I'm going to go in and clean this stuff. That way all I got to clean when I get done eating is my because when you leave stuff set in a pan like that, it'll dry, and if you leave it set there overnight, it's going to be forever, because it's going to have soaking water for it to come off. So that's the reason why I like to do my dishes as I go. My mom taught me that. I told y'all that in the last video I showed y'all about cooking. She always taught me to do my dishes as I go. Never leave them in the sink overnight, because it just takes you forever to get all the stuff off of it. Now I gotta wash this spoon that has the mashed potatoes on it. I'm washing it. And then I sprayed most of the potatoes off of it. It didn't take long to do it. There's ways you can do things to make things easier in your life. Just don't overthink it. Anyway, now I've got that I need to wash, but I'm going to wipe it off with a paper towel. I always make sure I got plenty of paper towels. But yeah, I don't want all that stuff going down the sink to stop the sink up. Yep, there's always dishes to do, y'all. It takes you longer to do your dishes than anything, but if you do them as you go, at least when you get done eating, you only got a plate to wash. Anyway, I know my food, people could say, oh, your food's going cold, you should eat. Well, I'm going to do these dishes. That's what I'm going to do. Dang. Hard to get this Dawn dishwashing liquid out when it gets down lower. Anyway. Just trying to wash up this, obviously. The spatula, as you would call it. I guess that's what it's called. Oh, Lord. Alright. Make sure I got everything off. Now I'm going to wash up my plastic. You always want to have some kind of plastic thing to lay your hot pans on, because you don't want to lay them on your countertops. Because if you've got marble countertops, it's going to scratch them or maybe possibly crack them with hot stuff, so you don't want to do that. I'm not sure about the cracking, but anyway, all I got to clean now is I have to clean off the stove, obviously, but I'll do that here in a little bit. But anyway, I'm gonna sit down and eat my food. Obviously, I'm gonna turn the light off. I have to clean that stove off. I know, no wonder people don't want to cook. It takes so long to have to clean. You spend more time doing the dishes than you do cooking the food, probably about as long. But if you do it as you go, when you get done, all you got's your plate and your fork or whatever you got left to do. So until next time, y'all, this is the food. Peace, love, and y'all be blessed.